Oscars are coming up, and one of my favorite things to do every single time the Oscars are coming up is rank all the Best Picture nominees from worst to best. So guys, make sure to comment down below. Let me know what your ranking is down below in the comments. And make sure, again, if you guys are new here and you enjoy movie content like this on a daily basis, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you guys never miss out on any sort of these videos. But guys, without further ado, let's get started. Coming down at my number 9 is going to be Joker. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people are going to crap on me. I actually really like all the Best Picture nominees this year. And Joker, I really like. One of my things about Joker, though, is it does feel like a carbon copy of King of Comedy mixed with a little bit of Taxi Driver. But the thing about it is I will shoot for the moon and say this is that Joaquin Phoenix gives the best performance of the year. And I think he actually elevated this film from not just being good, but to being great. And without his performance alone in this, I think the film would have been faltered a little bit. I do think the score is excellent. I think the cinematography is great. And really all three of those things really bring this package to be elevated to another level. Is Todd Phillips one of the best directors of this year? I guess, sure, but with the way that he was able to get the performance out of Joaquin Phoenix, I can fully understand. And really, just again, this is a movie that you watch for the character study of the Joker alone, and it has some of the most memorable moments of 2019. And coming out in my number 8 is going to be Little Women. Now, I've never seen any of the other Little Women's, and I didn't even know about any of the earlier stuff of the books. I actually never cared for. I never cared for the story, but Greta Gerwig is one of those directors that when she signs on for something, especially after Lady Bird, and it says she's remaking something, you go, I gotta pique your interest in that. Little Women won me over on a second viewing. The first viewing I really liked, but a second viewing is what really sold me for this film. I was cheering that Florence Pugh would get nominated. Thank God she did. I was cheering that Saoirse Ronan would get nominated. Thank God she did. And I was really hoping that Greta Gerwig would get the Best Director nomination. Sadly, she didn't. She's a great director in this part. She was a great writer in the way that she was able to tell the story of Little Women while also keeping it not too confusing was quite unique, and it showed it and shined a different light. This is just a very pleasant and enjoyable movie that really will bring the tears, but also the laughs and just make you feel like you are a part of this family. And coming up, my number 8 is Marriage Story. Now, there's something about Marriage Story, and when I rank these movies, understand, I'm not ranking it from how great they were to best. This is my personal ranking. This is how I would pretty much rewatch them. Marriage Story for me is a fantastic movie. It has one of the best scripts of the year. Noah Baumbach does such an incredible job with this movie, but it's a movie that I truly never care to rewatch. And a lot of that goes to, it's a hard movie to watch. My emotions were ripped back and forth, especially within that one argument scene that many people put on Twitter and took way out of context. Kylo Ren himself, Adam Driver, is superb. And any other year, this guy would be winning Best Actor. And same thing with Scarlett Johansson. I think she gave the second best performance, or maybe even the first best performance of this year, right next to Awkwafina, which should have been nominated for all this stuff. But I love Scarlett Johansson in this movie. I love Adam Driver. I think Laura Dern's a little bit overrated in here, but she is still really good. In general, this is one of those movies that you watch, and it goes in ways that you don't expect. It's not one of those divorce movies where you watch it and you're feeling like you're gonna have to pick a side. You don't pick a side. You kind of understand that both sides and why one would be pissed at the other and why is the other one's pissed at the other one. It feels great in that entirety, and it feels so real. It puts you right in the footsteps of these characters and never lets you go. Coming out, my number 6 is Ford v Ferrari. This movie has won me over. Yes, it is a total crowd pleaser. Yes, does it go into too much depth? No. The more you think about it, the more exhilarating energy comes out of this film. I think Christian Bale is phenomenal in here. I'd also go say I think Matt Damon is great in here, but really the main star of this is James Mangold's directing. Is the script the best, though? No, and I wouldn't go as far to say that this goes into any depths, but really this is truly about the race and the guy in the car. Nothing more than that, and I love how they were able to sense that into this film and really place it throughout it in the best light. It has some of the best racing sequences that you'll ever encounter in a movie, and it's truly an intense thrill ride. Before I get to my top 5, guys, make sure to get in the comment down below. Let me know what your ranking is of the Best Picture nominees, and I'm curious to let me know what else you guys think will be winning Best Picture. Let's discuss it down below, guys. Thank you guys again so much for watching this as well. If you guys are interested in seeing movies early, head over to Sandwich on Films. And of course, just a big thank you to you and a big thank you to my Patreon supporters, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. And coming in at my number 5 is going to be The Irishman. When else are you going to get a Martin Scorsese film with Pacino, Pesci, and De Niro? Let me tell you, you're never gonna get another one like this. That was terrible, and I totally excuse me for that, but The Irishman is great. It's a 3 hour and 30-minute epic, gangster epic directed by Martin Scorsese. And for a 3.5 hour movie, it feels it by the end, but it feels like you were with De Niro's character as the weight and everything that he goes about, and as it spans decades, you feel the guilt, the remorse of some of his actions, and I feel like this runtime was so needed for the story, and I accommodate and so happy that Netflix was able to just let him do what he wanted to do. Thelma Shoemaker as an editor is fantastic, and she does such a great job editing this movie. This is just seriously one of the best movies of this year, and I love it. As Martin Scorsese film, this is easily in his top 10 of all time. Coming in at my number 4 is going to be 1917. This is one of the best theater experiences I've ever had. I cannot wait to buy this movie on 4K and Blu-ray and show so many more people it, because it is one of the most intense rides you will ever have in the theater. This one cut just straight going along. I'm always intrigued with that concept. And yes, some people may call it a gimmick. I don't think it's a gimmick. And I think when it's made to work in this light, it works. And at times you even forget about it, that it's just sitting there. I think what Sam Mendes is able to do with this movie is one of the most unique and astounding accomplishments of this last decade for filmmaking. And in general, as a war film, it's one of the best war films ever created. George McKay was honestly snubbed of an Oscar nomination for what he was able to do in 1917. And coming up, my number 3 would be Jojo Rabbit. I wish this film was getting more Oscar consideration for Best Picture, but I think this is one of the best films of last year. It was heartwarming, it was heartfelt, it was charming, and it was taken a very serious matter. Yes, is it a little weird about a guy playing Hitler, and Hitler is this little boy's imaginary friend? Absolutely. But it's a satire on hate. And it's like Taika Waititi mixed his tone and his developments with inside a Charlie Chaplin and a Wes Anderson movie. The dynamics all across the board in this movie are some of the most unique of this last year, and it's made for one of the most entertaining but also one of the most emotionally grueling films, especially when it comes to one of the scenes towards the end of the movie. And coming up, my number 2 is going to be Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I love me some Tarantino, and this is one of my favorite Tarantino movies. It's one that has grown on me the more and more that I've seen it and rewatched it. And in general, it is one of those movies that for film lovers, I think this is for you. Tarantino fires on all cylinders when it comes down to his script and even his directing in this one, but it's the performances at hand that really take this film by storm. DiCaprio and Brad Pitt as best friends work to all lights, and what they were able to do inside this movie really brought a big smile to my face. And really, a lot of people were kind of crapping on Margot Robbie as Sharon Tate because she didn't get much to do. I think she is the soul and charm of this movie. And really, you got to remember, this is a fairy tale in Hollywood. This is Tarantino's interpretation of the history. It's Once Upon a Time. Coming in on my number 1, it's Parasite. Parasite is a movie that Parasite's one of the best films of the decade. And there's so many things about this movie that, personally for me, I would love for it to win Best Picture. I truly was stunned seeing it. You hear so much hype over months, and then you finally watch it and like, holy crap, that lived up to it. And then you want to show other people, so you take other people to see it. And I took one of my friends and my grandma to go see the movie, and both loved it. I was so nervous sitting in the seat between them both, like sitting there like, are they going to like this? Are they not? And Parasite became one of the best films of last year because of that. The production design in general, the score, the performances, all those, that whole cast should have been nominated. And I was so happy when they won the SAG Award because they deserved it. Bong Joon-ho is one of the best directors working today. And what he did with Parasite, what he was able to say in an entertaining manner while at the same time changing tonal shifts to comedy, to drama, to horror, to thriller, and able to at the same time layer a huge message, that's an accomplishment in its own. Parasite is an accomplishment. It's one of the best films of this last decade, and it's one of the best films ever made. That's my ranking of all the Best Picture nominees. Make sure to let me know who you guys think gonna win on Oscar night. Make sure to look out for more videos soon leading up to the Oscars. Thank you guys again so much for watching this, and of course, until next time, stay classy.